everyone, and welcome to 9 on the Positive Side. Thanks so much for joining us this weekend. One organization in the city of Kinston is bringing people together in a yummy way. 9 on your side's Abigail Velez has more on a local nonprofit's weekly dinner.
Food, fellowship, and fun. That's what the Kinston Teens organization offers the community every Sunday. And with this new facility, they say it's only going to get better.
Macaroni and cheese, green beans, of course fried chicken.
Kinston Teens has been hosting a Sunday dinner event on Slick Sundays to just provide some outreach and fellowship for our community here in East Kinston. We realize that, this is a community that has a lot of needs. East Kinston is a food desert, and what better way to bring people together than providing free food and fellowship to our neighbors here at the neighborhood hub.
Born and raised just 2 blocks away from the facility, Suggs says he's deeply rooted in the area.
This is my neighborhood. This is the neighborhood I come from, where I care so much about, and I'm excited that Kinston Teens is able to partner and provide this nice food and fellowship opportunity for our community.
So why dinner? I asked that question to Suggs, and he says it's a gateway for the youth to have conversations about the positive changes they'd like to see in their own community.
Kinston is a community like so many others in Eastern North Carolina that has some challenges, from poverty and gun violence to issues with food insecurity and problems in our school system. But our organization, Kinston Teens, provides a voice and opportunity for young people to get involved in making a difference on those issues.
Suggs says now that this facility is up and running, he has his eyes set on another location for the nonprofit in the near future. Now, if you or someone you know is interested in becoming a Kinston teen, they accept Lenoir County students ages 12 to 22. You can visit our website at WNCT.com to apply. In Kinston, Abigail Velez, 9 on your side.
Craven County officials and community members gathered earlier this week for a ribbon cutting of the long-anticipated Carts building. The Craven Area Rural Transit System helps the general public get to where they need to go in Craven, Jones, and Pamlico counties. Those with Carts say they provided more than 50,000 one-way trips last year, and the need is only growing. And this...
Oh, it's very exciting. Wonderful new building. Just very, very exciting. Just want to stress that we're public transit and that anybody can ride with us and that we serve all 3 counties.
The facility costs $1.8 million to build and will house 29 Carts vehicles. Some local high schoolers are back in the classroom this week. The Churches Outreach Network and the ECU Miller School of Entrepreneurship are partnering for the Summer Innovation Academy. Students are learning the basics of business with fun activities and team building strategies. Organizers say it's a way to get students thinking about possible career paths.
I'm currently kind of discovering or exploring what I like to do when I go to college, so this has definitely helped me kind of narrow down or further decide what I like to do and what I like to major in.
Learn about the college and learn about the skills. So we're really honored to be a part of this team at ECU, what they're doing for the youth.
Students even got the chance to do a business pitch to local community stakeholders. Generations past thought of summer camp as a chance for children to explore the outdoors, but these days the experience reaches them in the comfort of AC. John Lee takes us to the North Carolina camp's deep dive into the history of video.
Maybe you heard a stern voice growing up. Did she sound like this?
Would you get away from the video games and go outside?
Well, you don't have to hear her at Retro Video Gaming Camp 101.
All right, so let's get going.
For Bryson Smith, this summer camp slaps different.
Well, I just like that they're either simpler or just ridiculously complex and hard to play.
At Canton School in Concord, the atmosphere is electronic, from Pong to Punch-Out.
And these are all different because they're original and they're blocky, and I like that.
The pixelated pioneers debuted decades before COVID-19.
Pac-Man fever, like I said, it was not a pandemic.
Mark Ferguson created the camp.
It takes me back to my childhood. I had a Pac-Man shirt, I had a Pac-Man board game.
Along with gameplay, he mixes in a little pop culture history.
I grew up in Charlotte, so I was in Eastland Mall. Eastland Mall had multiple arcades.
They were everywhere. In the late 70s and early 80s, it's remembered as the golden age.
They see the modern games, they play the games, but they don't know that it's little humble beginnings. They don't know the industry crash and how the market just about died.
As a throwback gamer, Mark shares insights and tricks. Oof, death by Galaga.
I was trying to show you.
Young guys and gals are still drawn to Galaga. They like the idea of shooting lasers at aliens. It's on like Donkey Kong.
And I like that I get to learn about the history of what we just take for granted nowadays.
Nah, the buttons are weird.
This crowd didn't let a naysaying voice push their buttons.
You can't just play video games all day.
Ignore her, please, because after all, you only live 3 times.
Have you ever had Pac-Man fever?
Probably at this point.
If you have a story idea, you can send it on over to us. We want to hear about the positive things happening in your communities. Just email newsdesk@WNCT.com. Again, it's newsdesk@WNCT.com. You can also reach out to me on Facebook or over on Twitter. And there is a lot to celebrate next on 9 on the Positive Side. Some milestone birthdays and their secrets to living a long life. A World War II veteran was in for quite the surprise on his 101st birthday, surrounded by friends and family. Connor McHugh takes us to Colorado for this special story.
No matter how many years go by, celebrating life's special moments rarely gets old. And for Ray Chambers, this was no exception. On Monday, close to a dozen people filled his living room to celebrate his 101st birthday.
Did you set this up?
No, Mary did.
While the milestone was no surprise, the party was.
Complete surprise. They just walked in, she started setting things up, and then I began to realize something like this was happening.
At 101 years old, Chambers has lived a full and impressive life, starting as a glider pilot for the Army during World War II, earning multiple prestigious awards.
Everyone thought you were nuts, the fly gliders.
He later went to school, married the love of his life, and built this home he still lives in today.
I'm glad you came.
I'm here.
With the help of wonderful and caretakers with Colorado Palliative and Hospice Care.
He gets around, he can get up and down the stairs, and he's doing a great job.
On Monday, Holmes stayed by Chambers' side while musicians serenaded him. The American Legion honored him. Just 2 of several surprises planned by Mary Ozanek.
It's wonderful to see him happy.
Chambers is one of her many patients. Few are doing this well at this age.
I think that there are so many people out there with stories still in them that they haven't had a chance to express, and it was a way to say just thank you.
You want cake and ice cream to celebrate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Century of living, Chambers
Chocolate, yeah,
has a
we
lot
know
of
that.
stories
All right, let me
to
get
tell,
you.
and no problem sharing them.
How many people are here?
This one will be up there for years to come.
He'll be very, I think, on a high for a while discussing this special day.
Connor McHugh, Colorado First.
A merchant marine who served in World War II got a special surprise at the Los Angeles area gym where he works out.
1, 2, 3.
How much fun is that? 99-year-old Donald Mann got a big round of happy birthday wishes from the workers and customers of A Tighter You Gym. Mann, who has a fractured back and uses a walker, has been a regular at the gym for 3 decades now. He says waking up with a positive attitude every day keeps him going.
Laughter. Laughter has a lot to do with being able to be still moving when you're 99. If you laugh a lot and help others to laugh a lot, and don't be afraid to try something new.
Mann also credits his longevity to his 93-year-old girlfriend. Gym owners say Mann, who shows up every day for his workouts, is a big inspiration for the gym's employees and the members who go there.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alma.
Let's keep the celebrations going. Alma Gross is celebrating her 100th birthday. Her family, friends, and caretakers threw her a big birthday parade in Ohio. Alma led the parade before sitting down to watch as people marching by gave her big well wishes. She also received a special proclamation from the mayor of Rocky River. When asked what's the secret to living a long life, Alma had an answer right away.
Lord, keep the Lord in your life. He has helped you through trials, and He has given you many, many blessings. The years go by very fast, but you know, it's pretty nice being this age and getting all this attention.
And she has led an incredible life in her 100 years. She was an air raid warden during World War II, but only because an eye injury prevented her from enlisting in the Navy. She has 9 children and welcomed 15 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. Happy birthday to all. One little boy is making an impact on his community by turning his birthday celebration into a celebration for veterans. Samantha Petters takes us to Washington to show us how.
10-year-old Cale Van Camp celebrated his birthday this year by giving gifts to the veterans around the community. Both of his great-grandfathers served in World War II, making him very thankful for everything veterans do.
You came up with the idea when I was in 2nd grade, and at first I was a little like, okay, but now I've been realizing that it's a good thing to do. I hope other people pick up on this and they start doing the same.
For his 10th birthday this year, he wanted to help out Vets and Friends and donate gift cards to some of the vets and the organization.
He had a birthday party prior to this, and in lieu of presents, we asked to make donations for gift cards to grocery stores or supermarkets, like Walmart, Target, places where they could purchase the supplies that they need to make this happen every week.
To show their thanks, the veterans and volunteers sang happy birthday to Cale during the event. He plans to continue finding new ways to give back to veterans on his birthday. Cale is also dedicated to volunteering at events and wearing all things red, white, and blue. In Appleton, Samantha Petters.
Cale says he hopes more people will recognize his efforts and help in showing their support for veterans. At this baseball field, the batters aren't the only ones at the plate. Next, the four-legged friend helping out on the diamond. He is a staple at Pelicans baseball games in Myrtle Beach, and he always gets the biggest cheers from the crowds. Patsy Kelly introduces us to Slider and tells us what he has to do to train.
Before the roar of the crowd, before this dugout fills with screaming teammates, before this concrete tunnel echoes with the sounds of popcorn, hot dogs, beer, there's a lot of hard work. Players, staff, coaches, it's a cacophony of blood, sweat, and tears. And that includes the daily grind for the hardest working canine in minor league baseball. We all know him. We all love him. Slider the Bat Dog. He's a big part of the fan experience here at the TakeAReturn.com field. But just like all Pelicans players who had to learn hitting, fielding, and throwing, Slider had to start at the beginning. It takes everyday training and special help from 4 handlers and 1 trainer.
You have to start with that basic obedience, because if the dog does not understand that basic obedience, then the dog will be running wild. So when you ask him to come, just like in the beginning, basic obedience, that's basically what you're asking him when you're telling him to go fetch. You're asking him to bring that back to you, which in essence is a come. If you don't start there, then you're not able to continue to build into the task that he is going to be working on.
But they don't abandon that basic training after moving on to specialized skills. That's why he works a 9 to 5, just like the rest of us.
How to initiate commands with him, how to hold him accountable to those commands, and then we just work game scenarios with them.
The Pelicans recruited Slider when he was just 1 year old. It takes a special canine to put in the long hours and have the temperament to do what they need him to do in those special innings every fan loves.
That job entails being able to walk around the crowd and not lose it, not get super excited. When a kid drops a hot dog or drops popcorn, he doesn't go dive bomb that, So his job primarily is to be able to go and pick up the bat when the player hits the ball, they're running to base, the play ends. He goes and fetches the bat and brings it back to the handler in the dugout. He does that several different innings. He also does pictures during one of the innings with all of the fans. So he has to be able to handle being around lots of people and walking through the crowds.
Slider's specialized training includes what we all love him for, fetching the player's bats using the hold command.
Which means putting the bat in his mouth and making him hold it and then asking him to drop. Sometimes you use drop. With Slider, we use the command out. He holds the bat, and then out, and he drops the bat in our hand.
As Slider continues training this year, one of the things they're working on is the proper positioning for holding the bat. They noticed he started holding the end of the bat because of players' bat weights. So they needed to recondition that process for him to grab the bat in the center, building on that basic skill.
It seems heavy for him, isn't it? It is. So because of where he's grabbing the bat, it is a touch bit heavier, so that's why we were really trying to put it more in the center, so that way it would be a little bit more balanced, like that. See how that's a little bit better? Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but Slider is eager every morning to get after it.
It gives them a purpose. It gives them something that they're working for. Labs are retriever dogs, so they are work dogs.
But that doesn't mean Slider doesn't have a little fun on the side.
He loves people. In fact, when people come to do pictures with him, he's very, very chill. He loves to be around people.
You really have to vet these working dogs. The selection process is difficult.
A very high-strung, very excitable dog cannot handle being around large groupings of people that the Myrtle Beach Pelicans bring to their ballpark. So you want a good balance between that. I'm able to be around people, but also I'm able to work all at the same time.
And just like the players, Slider's got to stay in shape.
Go Slider! Come on, buddy! Whoop, whoop, whoop! And they can down a bag of dog food in a heartbeat. So you really have to monitor their food intake. So he had put on a little bit of weight. So we needed to trim him. We need to trim him up a little bit. Good boy.
Reporting from the Pelicans ballpark, Patsy Kelly, News 13.
Such a good boy. If you have a sweet tooth, the stories coming up next are for you. Find out where some North Carolina chocolate places are ranked in the country. It might surprise you. Two chocolate shops are getting recognition. One is in the Triangle and the other is over in the mountains. They both made the top list for their tasty treats. USA Today released a list of the 10 best chocolate shops across the country. The Verity Chocolate Factory in Raleigh ranked 9th. Some of their signature creations include chocolate bars, bonbons, milkshakes, and ice cream topped with house-made sauces. I've had their ice cream. It is delicious. Also on the list, French Broad Chocolate in Asheville. They ranked 10th. The Cafe and Factory specializes in cocoa bean to bar creations. They also provide tours and tastings featuring their chocolate lounge. Thanks for joining us for 9 on the positive side. Maybe we can all get desserts, right? Let's take a look at some of the penguins, though, that are swimming for the first time at the London Zoo before we go. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you next time.